Friends, good morning, everybody. This is Paul here. My name is Shamal. So I am speaking with Buddha. You can see at back. So I am in conversation with Buddha. Last night, close to 4 hours, I have taken the concept of Buddhism. I have talked many issues. Today, I am going to talk about understanding the existence of life, human life, the purpose, and other life, including plant, animal, and other biodiversity, what you see in nature. Can you place the doctrine of Buddhism? My whole purpose of bringing this matter together, probably Buddhism has got enormous influence. The philosophical understanding of Buddhism has got into many intellectuals. I'm talking about philosophers, scientific communities. They have taken the concept, and Buddhism is a philosophy, I told you, right? How those intellectuals or great minds, same philosophy they have taken, and probably they use their mind and the science and technology, they use the natural science or science and technology, they have applied the same philosophy and discovered many things. In that context, if I say Buddhism has got greater influence, if I am not wrong, probably I'll try to explain the situation. If you talk about the origin of species by Charles Darwin, the theory of evolution is very, very nearer to the philosophy of Buddhism. Talking about the emotion analysis, animal world emotions, he have tried to study, and the diversity, the entire thing, the way Darwin has taken his theory, there are many issues, probably aspect is matching the philosophy of Buddhism. Number 2 point, as we all know, there are few great personalities meeting. Swami Vivekananda meeting Tesla in US, Einstein meeting Rabindranath Tagore. What philosophical conversation they had. They talk about, Swami Vivekananda talks about, Tesla talks about matter and energy. Same philosophy, if you see the same philosophy is there in Buddhism. Buddhism talks about your life, your existence, it goes through different pains, series. And that pain has to be released through your work. And then your final death is coming. It is basically transfer of mass. If you take a body as a mass and final your work and other thing, last journey, it's energy. Again, mass and energy conversion. The Einstein E is equal to mc square. Here I am trying to draw a few things. I told you Tesla meeting Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is a, you say, philosopher. He holds some ideology. I was wondering those same ideology is coming from Buddhism or not. Though he inculcated the Hinduism, but historically if you see the Hinduism is much comes after, it's your Buddhism came in 2500 BC and Hinduism came after that, close to 1500 or 1600 BC in that context. If you see, I'll try to explain the whole situation over here. The situation I'm trying to draw over here, the mother is your Buddhism, then Hinduism, and I'm talking about the origin of Christianity and Islam with Judaism. And if you take those things are after Buddhism, I was wondering all those things, all those ism, either it is Islam, Christianity, Judaism, all those things have a origin or not. I was trying to correlate with Charles Darwin, Origin of Species, where in whole universe, as a whole, if you see totally, you will try to draw something. There is something called, there is origin is there, from their originality, your natural selection. Either it is natural selection in terms of spirituality, in terms of philosophical way, how lot of things, deviation has been taken place. I will explain in terms of our ideology, spiritualism, our emotional things, how those Christianity, Hinduism or Islam's, how they have taken the path. But if you critically analyze, all talks about peace, tranquility and all those things, like it is a better way of life. But how whoever has started Islam, Christianity, Jesus Christ, all those spiritual leaders or spiritual personality, after their death, whoever has taken their concept and they have diluted the concept. That is what I was trying to tell you. Now how the pracharak of Christianity or pracharak of Islam or pracharak of Judaism, how it has taken a different shape in different time zone, that is my intention to talk about. Just wait for a minute, sir. So my second point is Buddhism is there 2500 BC. After that, after death of Buddha, his philosophy is taken over by Maurya dynasty in 625. So they have taken it very seriously. Even Samrat Ashok, his kingdom, their philosophy used to be Buddhism. So after that, your Gupta dynasty came. Gupta dynasty, after Maurya Gupta dynasty, that time there are little degradation of Buddhism. And after that, you have seen the invasion of Muslim, attacking and demolishing different establishment of Buddhism, whoever the follower, that tried to convert them. That is what the idea, in that time they have done it. That time again, your Hinduism came into the picture. There are Brahmins, they came into the picture. It's basically the dilution. People are coming, Muslims are coming and with their aggressive way to capture India. So there is a conversion. In that conversion process, there are many Buddhists who are not able to sustain, they have converted. Like that, lot of followers who used to follow, and there is two things. One is Muslim and Hinduism came into the picture, and probably in that context, there is a Jamindar system, like the small Jamindar system also it came into the picture. And the origin of Hinduism, if you see, after Gupta period, it has taken a different shape, and there is always a conflict between Hindu, Brahmins and Muslim, because Muslims are the invaders, right? Here what I'm trying to draw the comparison. Similar way, if you see Judaism, the origin of Islam and origin of Christianity more or less same time and the same place. Jerusalem, Palestine, those areas, the conflict, what is you are seeing today. What I am trying to tell over here, my perception is simple. I'm trying to correlate few things. If I am wrong or if I am not wrong, if I perception, probably one can educate me to understand the thing. The origin is your Gautam Buddha, what you call the doctrine of Buddhism, that is the Gangotri, if you take. All the branches and sub-branches, what you are seeing over here, because most of the Islamic origin is from is a monarchy system. From there itself, the Prophet Muhammad, if I talk about the Prophet Muhammad, how his background, similar way, Buddha also came from a family, king's family, but he has tried to isolate it from whatever wealth. Because in Buddhism, if you see, the main perception of Buddhism or concept of Buddhism is the materialistic world. If you have to sacrifice your life has to go through different process. You do not have attachment towards this materialistic world. That is what Buddhism is trying to tell. It is basically the transfer of mass to energy. It's a conversion of mass to energy. Again, it is coming back, because in Buddhism doesn't believe in death. The death concept in Buddhism is something like that. They have taken the mass energy conversion. I'm trying to correlate. That time science is not there, but Buddha is having a great mind, I believe. If you take the Einstein theory, E is equal to mc square. It is a simple conversion of mass energy transfer. So, it is the same correlation probably one can draw. I really do not know whether Einstein was influenced by Buddhism or the philosophy that what I am holding, because already Buddhism it is there. There are a lot of literature available. Probably Einstein, he is a great man. He might have gone through a lot of literature. At the same time, if Oppenheimer can have access to Bhagavad Gita during Second World War through Manhattan Project, where America charged atom bomb in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So Oppenheimer can read Bhagavad Gita. Why not Einstein? They are at the same time. Similar way, Nikola Tesla and Swami Vivekananda, when they are meeting, Vivekananda is asking some question to Nikola Tesla that what is the concept of matter and energy? You can imagine Swami Vivekananda is a spiritual mind. My idea of telling a spiritual mind is asking a hardcore scientist about matter energy. And that time, matter and energy is not been discovered after 10 years. It was discovered by your E is equal to mc square by Einstein, because Nikola Tesla is close to 10 years senior to Einstein. Vivekananda met. So those are very fantastic things. Probably one can draw correlation. As we have been talking science, philosophy and religion, you cannot separate it out. How strong your philosophical understanding you have, how strong your idea and analytical power, because I could see in Buddhism, the reasoning, analytical reasoning about not to be attached to a dirty or filthy people, how to keep your mind pure. Those are the things he talks about, all aspects of life, which is a very kind of a pure form. So my simple submission over here, when Buddhism is not able to spread, then all those things, your Muslim, Christianity, Judaism, it is known that Christianity and Muslim, that is originated from Judaism, from the history it is known. But the question remains where Judaism also taken some note from Buddhism. I really do not know, because those are all spiritual things. Or if I take in other way, each mind has got the analytical power. Probably the same concept, probably the person who is developing in one place, other place, similar kind of activities as doing it is possible, because the understanding of life, it might be whoever. Today I am sitting over here, the way I might be thinking certain things, the other person sitting in the other part of the world might be thinking in a similar way. There might be a lot of similarities. I am trying to correlate things, that how almost in the same time all those things came together and taken the religion shape. The religion concept is coming, the Christianity, your Islam, even they talk about the peace, humanity, those religions. Because if I take Buddhism is a philosophy, it is not a dharma, it is not a religion. But if I take Islam is a religion, Christianity is a religion, Hinduism or Hindu is a religion, even though origin of Hindu it is originated from many things, like it has got branch, sub-branch, many things it has come. Then you have the Brahmin, you have the caste, there are many things in Hinduism or Hindu. The concept is very, very complex. It is a very kind of a, what you call it? You call it a gelatin structure, I rather say in chemistry. There are a lot of complex material binds together form a gelatin that is been used in chemistry. So it is a complexity. That's why Hinduism, to understand Hinduism, probably one has to go through many things, and you will find lot of branch, sub-branch, subdivision, many things are there. Then finally you give a shape of Hinduism. Now my another submission is, what about the B.R. Ambedkar? He's a great man. At final stage of life, he converted to what? He converted to Buddhism. I was wondering how it is possible. One should correlate certain things. As you all know, B.R. Ambedkar is a very intelligent person. He was told to write Indian Constitution. It is not a single person writing Constitution. He was leading. The question is, he has to write a Constitution keeping everything in mind, caste, religion, creed, everything. So there are few things. I am not getting into the Constitution part. Two things I want to highlight over here. Number one, the reservation. If he is the believer, if a person is converting to a certain philosophical, that is Buddhism. Buddhism is not following any kind of religion. It's a spiritual thing. Like, so I believe Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he doesn't give any kind of importance towards any specific religion, caste or creed. Only for him, everybody is same. Now, giving reservation 10% to lower caste people, he might not be, his dialectical thought process, he might given thought it is not required, or he might have had something. That's why he put a clause 10 years. That is probably with certain condition he felt that he needs to have a society which is kind of a casteless society. That is what probably his idea. Otherwise, at later stage of your life, he could have not accepted Buddhism. My second submission is talking about the Article 164. Article 164 is directly attacking the democratic value of a life, which is also the core part of Buddhism. Buddhism gives your full freedom. You are a free thinker, and your rationality, your emotion, your whatever things, you have full freedom to do all kind of things with the pain and torture and all those things, because they feel this life is a body, is an existence. It has to go through the process of cremation, and it has got a journey. Now question is over here very interesting, which means this process is democratic. If I take the democratic value, if Ambedkar is having such philosophical understanding while writing this constitution, he might have given a lot of thoughts. I could read a lot of his debate on Article 164, whether undemocratically selected, if somebody from the external thing or a defeated person can be brought into democracy to run the democracy, can be given the constitutional post. There are a lot of debates that had happened in between 1932 to 35 in Parliament. There are sessions where Ambedkar tried to impose his position, either those things what he had talked in favor of 164, is there any compulsion or not, that cannot be judged, but probably if I analyze his philosophical understanding of life, the way he used to pursue all those things, he probably doesn't believe in 164 article. I am sure. Otherwise, there will be a contradiction, because Ambedkar is not the same person like that time. If you see the political minds, whoever have come for the political zone, their objective is to serve the country with any other vested interest. He doesn't have any interest beyond purely serving the nation. So what vested interest will have to impose 164 article where you are giving a backdoor entry to a defeated person to take care of the constitutional post? That is quite interesting for me. And B.R. Ambedkar is not fool enough to impose or write, because if you take Gulwani, he has taken help from lot of constitution that time, whoever democratically running different countries, many countries, because lot of countries liberated from British Raj. So they have constitution. He has taken 5 or 6 constitution from different countries. That time no country is having such kind of 164 article, the clause what is in Indian constitution is imposed. It is only extreme emergency situation, if you want to put somebody with a non-democratically selected person putting into giving a position, this is the only scope, is a kind of war or emergency kind of situation. Otherwise, if any democracy has to function, the person has to come through proper channel. When I say proper channel, means he or she has to come democratically elected. If you are defeated, means you are defeated. No way, you do not have any role to play in democracy. Because if I talk about the mandate of the people, irrespective of any party, the majority, whoever have selected, they have voice, they have a right to sit in the parliament, they have right to sit in Vidhan Sabha or legislature, wherever it is. Otherwise, a defeated person, a third person, if you are bringing, if he is not selected or elected by the people, there will be a danger thing like, and how last 70 years, this 164 article that has been misused by many a times, different political system to push certain agenda, how an individual. Otherwise, it will lead to many things. It will lead to dictatorship, it will lead to corruption, it will lead to a violent, what is the value? Let's say I am not able to clear medical or engineering, for that matter IAS or IPS exam. If I fail in the exam, because I have applied for exam, means if I have not passed, so I have eligibility to get the IAS, IPS or doctor's post. Or else the provision, what 6 months provision is given, it's a kind of emotional thing, right? You are giving somebody 6 months grace time to prove that you get elected from 1 or 2 or 3 place. This is not done. This is not done means, I will rather say defeat is a defeat. If you play a match or if you play the race or anything, if it's a democratically you are playing and you are fighting or the wrestling or everything, if you are defeated means defeated. There is no question of telling you have won it. This is not, it is against the philosophy of Buddhism. So, the intelligent man like B.R. Ambedkar is not that fool. I am trying to understand whether is there any force behind to write this clause at that time. What are the compulsion made him to write this clause? Can historian tell me that part? I'll be happy to know that, because I am just going through the dialectical thought process, the process in which a mind, his rational thought, his philosophy of life, when he is interpreting in the form of a document which is supposed to be a rule, how a gross mistake can happen that ignoring 164 putting this clause, giving backdoor entry. Dr. Ambedkar might not have forgotten that we fought 200 years against British, and partition of India has done. There are so much struggle we made to bring the democracy in order. And this gentleman, so qualified man, he is putting a clause, some defeated person or not elected person picking up XYZ through relation. It had happened. Some chief minister's son, after death of the chief minister, somebody has placed. Many prime minister also from different place has got. I am not getting the history, because if I want to talk about the history, it has got a long history. I have written blog. My only concern is what kind of circumstances made Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to write this thing. Probably some serious historian should get into the problem that what went wrong with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar while writing or putting this clause, 164. I want to say this much. So, as a result, what had happened, 75 years, our whole democratic process, it becomes a mockery. We do not want to have a dance of democracy over here. It is not the emotions that drive us. It is the rational thought process. Morality is coming into the picture, which talks about, Swami Vivekananda talks about, Subhash Chandra talks about, Rishi Aurobindo talks about the morality. Similar way, it has been told 2500 years back by Buddha. The doctrine of Buddha is very important. There is difference between human and animal world in terms of emotion, rational thought process, because we are more logical, because those philosophy gives us to open up lot of logical thinking, whether we are going wrong or not. I'll come back to you. This I talked about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar since this matter came. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism. I was trying to understand if I have to take tomorrow XYZ dharma, either it is Islam or Christianity or Jain or any other thing. Definitely my mind is not, I'm not so idiot tomorrow that, okay, you are giving me something, I'll convert. Because it is very difficult to convert an intelligent person from one religion to another religion if somebody has to follow or some belief has to follow. Here I have some question mark on B.R. Ambedkar. I am not questioning him. This is what I have seen. I have told in my many lectures how Einstein was fooled during Second World War. Because those are great minds. It is not their ordinary minds we are talking about. Oppenheimer is not ordinary minds. They are the great scientific researcher. They have changed the world with their ideas and thought. Einstein, how he was fooled. He wrote there is a need of nuclear bomb. His E is equal to mc square formula that is being used by the American administration with Manhattan Project, 150,000 scientists work under the dark. Einstein was not aware. He thought probably this will be used to give threat or some perception, like he has not given thought that will be used to close the chapter of Second World War. After that, history knows how they have regretted, how they have uttered word from Gita, how Einstein was branded as a father of nuclear bomb. History of science is very bitter thing. I have told more than 2 hours in my discussion that how history of science has taken into different shape, how history of science, different intellectuals that has been utilized and used them in different times without informing or without their knowledge. This has been done. Present day also there are many research labs. They do a lot of activities. They do not know what is the final product. They have been given, you do this thing. Like that Human Genome Project, globally, people are working in different labs. Somebody has given X, Y, Z, and it has been dissected into many parts. Now, if you dissect into many parts, then there is somebody to synthesize it. You do not know the ultimate game of this thing. Because the small people, small group, like any company, there is a final product. It is not that one person is doing from everything. It is not that way. There are hundreds of people, they work to develop a product. One person is not knowing anything. I have been to Germany. There are many companies. Like a simple example, I am giving a binary HPLC pump. It has got a pump. It has got injector. It has got a detector. This is for HPLC, simple for separation. When I went to that company, there are many divisions. People are working. Somebody is making the pump. Somebody is making the nuts. Somebody is making the syringe. I asked one fellow that what you are doing. Sir, I don't know the final product. I am making this much. I was told to do this job. Because I know for what purpose I went there. So it is very interesting to know that when you have a final product, when many people are working to develop this product, one might not be knowing or might not be aware about the whole thing. So finally, it is the top level, it takes the decision what will be the final product. Friends, I do not like to get into the complexity of this subject. My purpose of telling all those things, this is a simple question that has been raising. I want to raise those questions even in case of Swami Vivekananda, Subhash Chandra Bose, Rishi Aurobindo, all those people, like whether they have got influence from Buddha or not. That is what any historical evidence, if anybody is finding, probably I will be happy to know that. Just wait, I'll come back, sir. Friends, I was talking about the doctrine of Buddhism. I am in conversation with great Buddha. So I have a lot of question, a lot of curiosity in my mind. I want to express those things over here because I could see there are a lot of conflicts are going on. It's not the conflict across the globe because of the religion, the ideology, the philosophy that what we are carrying. Whether those philosophies are at right directions or not, that to be analyzed. Probably we can give a thought in understanding what kind of philosophy we are adopting. Now my submission is, if we believe in natural selection, if we believe Charles Darwin, natural selection, what has taken shape in 19th century? What are the things, genetical modifications all are going on? If I have to take the natural selection, why you are creating artificially lot of organisms with keeping some objective in mind? We understand the philosophy was there, something now science is there playing the role in understanding the living organism body, understanding what are the components we have, the biological components we have, critical analysis getting into deeper, getting into the molecular level, understanding the DNA, genome sequencing, it is fine. But if I believe natural selection, Darwin have never ever told that artificially something to be created. He might not have given thought in that time that his theory of natural selection will be taken in a different dimension and there are new varieties new species will be developed. Probably that is not in his mind. Even if he doesn't know about the virus, as I have told you in my previous lecture, virus is not known to him. Bacteria is not known to him. It is not part of the theory of evolution. But if you take the scientific community has discovered something where they have got opportunity to play with this manipulation and they can do whatever they want to do. They have whole control over the biological system. Either it is a small organism or big organism, whichever living organism we can say. Similar way, how this COVID-19 virus, I was talking in my previous lecture, I have given that how artificially, it's not if it is artificially created, it's a natural, not a natural selection. That means we are not respecting certain things. The theory of evolution is taking a different dimension. It will have the cascade effect in the environment. As I have told you, it has got, the nature is equilibrium. If you take the equilibrium concept, each organism is coming to nature, it has got certain role to play. Same philosophy Buddhism talks about. They talk about human, they talk about emotions of animal. Even Charles Darwin also talked about the emotions of animals. Though animal behavior afterwards it becomes a subject, a science, but he has touched upon the emotional part. What I am trying to tell over here, the animal killing and other things, what is exactly happening, it's a philosophical understanding how come a certain religion is trying to have, for food purpose, it is required. But if you understand philosophically, it is directly linked to the religion. That concept was not in Buddhism. It talks about giving space to each and every organism in one platform. That is the whole idea of Buddhism. But it has taken a different shape in time to time. I want to tell you here, the Christianity, that talks about the love, tranquility, everything. In Muslim, Prophet Muhammad also talks about peace. That is one of the greatest things. So Prophet Muhammad or Christianity, the same, they also talk about the peace. When I talk about the peace, the philosophical understanding, that time they might have thought something, if peace is there, there will be, in opposite direction, there will be war. They had a fear of war. Otherwise, they could not have given this message, want to have a peace. It is not possible that you only talk about the peace without knowing there is a chance of war. If you again analyze dialectically, they had also similar fear. If we propagate their philosophy, down the line in the society, at one point in time, there will be war situation. And that's why the peace message directly, it is not directly written. It is indirectly saying there is a need for peace, that peace process has to continue. Now the question is, if you take there is a life, Prophet Muhammad or Jesus Christ is a life, they have a span of life, whatever message they want to spread, they have given this message. Now the question is, whoever the follower, who are following the Christianity, mostly the British, Portuguese, all those people, Europeans, they are the follower of Christianity. The question refers, who has taken major share of spreading Christianity in the name of business or aggression? It is the British. They want to capture all those. This aggression is coming. It is again against the wish of Gautam Buddha. So aggression is not there. Aggression word is not there in the part of doctrine of Buddhism. That means they have taken a different shape. When you do, it is obvious in the name of business or in the name of spreading religion or spreading whatever their Jesus Christ wanted to have the spread the message. They had always the fear that this might take the violent shape. And the question is, like as I have told you, the Buddhism is taken seriously by Maurya period. Samrat Ashok. Ashok was a nice man, nice king. He doesn't have any problem. But if it goes to the wrong hands, if I take Christianity as going to the wrong hands like British, they have used the dharma and tried to capture many countries including India to extract natural resources and wealth. And there itself the conflict is coming. If you want to do business, then obviously you have to bring religion into the picture. So until or unless you don't give certain preference to somebody, it is like inside you divide. Religion is nothing but you split into many things in a particular content so that they keep on fighting. So you take the advantage of their fighting. British had exactly done for India. As I have told my previous lecture, the creation of Bangladesh, India and Pakistan is nothing but the result of the great political minds of British Raj. It is as simple as like that. If somebody, any historian can give another dimension to that, I'll be happy to listen. Same thing, the Israel. Israel liberated almost same time like India got liberated. It is under British. What is the conflict all about? What Israel is talking about, they are talking about their own motherland. Please go back and read the history where they talks about all those origin, the actual Israeli, and it is actually occupied by the outsider. I am not mentioning who are the outsider. Now they are claiming and crying after many years. It is the British policy. That time they have not resolved the issues. You are leaving Israel or Palestine for that matter. That time it was unified Palestine. So includes all those Gaza, Israel and the present Palestine, what conflicts are going on. Like before independence, we have unified India, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh together, the same situation. It is a very, very similar kind of situation is prevailing. If you take both the system, British has got major role with their vested interest, and that interest is known. That interest is common people should fight and they will get advantage out of it, and they want to see that we are in trouble. The other interesting part is there, the Palestine, Israel. It is the origin of the religion, both Christianity and as well as the Muslim Prophet Muhammad and Jesus Christ originated from the same place. Now this fight is not all about a simple fight between two countries like Israel is doing this or something fight. We cannot take it as a very simplistic way. It is basically the fight is between two religions with their existence. One is fighting for their own right, another who is occupied, they are claiming they have been deprived. The same situation perceived in Babri Masjid also. You can see that what is the history of Babri Masjid. Before that, it was the Hindu, it was the right of Hindu. The original, it is known, but this matter has been extended for how many years? 73-4 years we have been fighting and discussing whose lands belong to whom. It is very simple. If you have a piece of land given by your father and you are cultivating there, if somebody comes by forcefully occupy it, after 100 years he will forcefully kill you and occupy this thing and place a building over there. After certain time you say that I have right to do exercise. And if you go and try to demolish it, you say that you are demolishing my property. This is not done. Similarly, the same thing had happened to Israel. Israel are fighting because of their right. Actually, their whole right to have the whole Palestine, which is there 100 years back. So my question, my submission is very simple. We should not take the history just 10 years, 12 years, whatever things happen. You have to really go back and understand the history and critically analyze it. The matter is not so simple the way we are analyzing the Israel and Palestine-Gaza conflict. That is what my small understanding. I can guess. If I am wrong, anybody can enrich me. I'll be rather happy. The small common people, they are very small people. They are worried about twice bread, butter, and all. They don't get into very serious kind of understanding, reading history for 1,000 years. It is not that way. It is not so simple to get into the complexity. Even we are not able to recall 6 months back who are our finance minister of India or chief minister of some, or even if you ask in India, many people who is the prime minister of India, they cannot tell also. The question is, history is a subject which is a documented thing. If one has got investigative mind to get into the subject, there will be better clarity. It is not, my question is not who is fighting, X or Y is fighting or XZ is fighting, but what purpose they are fighting. That has to be understood. Until or unless you go back deeper into the problem and try to find out the origin of the problem, there will be conflict. You cannot draw the actual conclusion, or for your own understanding also you cannot draw any conclusion. Just for a minute, I will come back to you. Friends, the intention of Christianity is on present day is well understood by me probably if I critically dissect all those things and critically analyze in the philosophy of doctrine of Buddha, the philosophy, if I put that, because I am analyzing all those things in light of philosophy of Buddha, trying to put, because I have Buddha at my back. He's giving a lot of energy, it is emitting a lot of energy to speak about all those things. The Christianity is aggressive. It is towards the creation of wealth. When wealth is there, it is totally against the wish of Buddhism. Capturing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries and putting divide and rule policies over there, putting religion and allow them to fight and take advantage. This is one type of aggression. This is against all kind of ethics of Buddhism. They have not followed a single, the philosophy of actual Christianity. For that matter, the philosophy what Prophet Muhammad also used to hold. The same situation I am trying to bring. The philosophy of Prophet Muhammad is too good. Even though he talks about the peace part, keeping the danger in mind. Anybody. So Einstein also discovered the theory E is equal to mc square. But finally, who is going to use it? The science is going to be used for the humanity or for destruction. He also put that question mark or red mark that if it is misused, there will be cascade effect. The question is who is using it, what purpose it is using it, that is more important. Any philosophical understanding or either political or social or any philosophical understanding in idealistic level, all are good. But when it's practically in application, one is the theoretical part, another is individual has to apply. Each individual are different. So it's not a homogeneous situation. So who is more powerful? There are many things that particular individual, out of 10 parameters of certain philosophy or principle, how many parameters are taking into consideration and what are the preference they are giving, that philosophy has to be understood. Similar way in 1947, always I bring 1947 matter in my mind, that if you take when constitution has written by Ambedkar, so you have to have development. In the development agenda, what are the priorities? We know thousands of years we have been doing agriculture, but Jawaharlal Nehru has not given importance towards the agriculture. He has tried to give emphasis towards the industrialization. I am not telling, but agriculture is the prime where 60% population or more than 60% population are living in village and their day-to-day basis activities are based on agriculture. That improvement has not been taken place. Even though there are some subsidies in fertilizer and all, those things are very negligible. There is not science and technology not got into this agricultural field for last many years. Now what I am trying to tell you, it is the philosophical understanding that an individual in his mind and understanding what are the priority he want to give. That's why he is given industrialization. That is a fine thing. The same philosophy he has taken from the British. British never ever concentrated on more on agriculture. They have got industrial revolution. Entire Europe has gone through industrial revolution. Same philosophy he has adopted. But it should be country specific. He could have gone thought in little 30%, 40% money allocation for the agriculture. Probably there, by the time in 75 years, we could have seen lot of development took place. It is not the parallel development. If I analyze both industrial and agriculture, that is one part is been ignored. That again, all those things, all directions are coming from the what philosophical understanding this person is holding. Similar way, in 1950, you can see how China, there are severe food crisis. Mao Zedong, please go back and read the history, you will understand what these Chinese communists, they want to do. That sparrow, it's a part of the biological system. They felt that sparrow is eating a lot of foods. So they had developed one philosophy, let's kill all the sparrow. They started to kill sparrow, millions of birds they have killed it. And it is a kind of a ecological disaster happened during this time. But their fundamental idea was there, if they are able to kill those sparrow, probably the sparrow who are eating those foods, so they will get more productivity. But they have not thought of in the natural process that particular bird also has got role. If you kill that, there will be ecological imbalance in the food chain. Even today, if you kill mosquito, there are some adverse effects. It is not advisable to kill also mosquito because these are all natural selection. Is not killing. There are many countries, they are cultivating mosquito. There are many countries, I have seen a lot of research paper, they are cultivating mosquito because it has got a major role is keeping balance in the ecological or biological system. So you have to see in totality. It is not one way in one direction is going. You have to have the dialectical thought process. Again, I am trying to tell you over until or unless we understand the total biological system or the total universe, how it operates, it is very difficult for anybody, for that the political leader or political ideology. One has to be very, very careful that philosophical understanding finally translate into the execution part. What are the agenda they want to take it? That agenda might be wrong. Similar way, China, they have totally flopped this idea killing birds, and there is a severe food crisis in that time. Friends, what I'm trying to tell over here, any idea is a good idea. In a paper, you can write many things like, no, those are the things, my doctrine and all. If you follow it, you will be a better person. Finally, you are not going to live here for 1,000 years. You are not the custodian of the civilization. You have lifespan of 70, 80 or 100 years maximum. After that, you will go. If your philosophy or ideas are good, it will be carried forward by the next generation or next leadership, for that matter, whatever. The question remains unanswered, that who is carrying, and that particular person, that leadership, what kind of ideas they are taking, what are the agendas they are taking. I personally feel that if I analyze 200-year history, either it is history of science or history of humanity, civilization, it's basically a lot of chaos. It is a motivated way of executing certain work. Either it is in the scientific field or in the society. Any country want to be richer, to make this particular country to be richer. Let's attack this country, bring that wealth, and you become richer. So again, it is a part of equilibrium. You have 1 liter water. I have been telling the same story. So if I want to take the whole share 900 ml, I will take it by any means. So I become rich. What is going to happen with 100 ml? Can you feed the entire population? That philosophy has to be understood. Our socio-economic condition, our political situation, our entire thing. That is why I have a lot of questions and reservations towards the entire scientific activities, what is going. It is very kind of motivated and directed. That's why I have raised certain question about the publication like Scientific American, Nature, everything, every publication, they are now acting as a kind of a philosophical way of giving message to the world. Look, whatever we are telling, it is absolutely erratic. I do not say they have something to say, but giving a certificate, I have objection. One can question always that in what basis you are questioning, because until or unless you question certain things, matter or topic won't be cleared. Who knows all those things background, what is happening? If you are not able to spread a good philosophy like Buddha, people are not able to accept it. It's an ideal situation. If society has to be uniform, the philosophy of Buddha is ideal. Why people have not accepted? Is it because of all humans are different? Obviously, all humans are different. Can we bring some uniformity? Obviously, we can try that. That's why the many things have come. Your monarchy has come, your bourgeois system has come, your socialism has come, Leninism has come, Marxism has come. All those isms are there. They have all philosophical thing. It is written in the form of books. Your Buddhism is there, Jainism is there. There are many places, many philosophies they have taken into consideration. They feel that time it is good. Even if you take the science and technology, before that, if you go to Galileo, Copernicus, all those history, their philosopher, whoever has told that earth is fixed and all, they have been taken in a religious people, they have taken and given stringent punishment. That history is known to everybody. Friends, what I am trying to tell over here is a very simple thing. Until or unless in life you have certain principle, and if somebody is feeling those principles are good, we all should respect that philosophy. If we really want to have peace, tranquility, and other all philosophical thing, humanity, proper shelter for everybody, proper medical facilities for everybody, it has to take a very kind of holistic approach. It is not something that one thing which is suiting for me, it is good, and another things is not suiting, it is bad for something. Until or unless we collectively take kind of holistic approach for any ideology, it will be a disaster for the society. Disaster not only for the human society, it will have impact towards the animal world or other biological world. So finally, I want to conclude. I talked about the Marxism philosophy. People talk about Marxism is a philosophy, it's a political philosophy or whatever we see. How erosion has been taken, it's been drifted from actual Karl Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Mao Zedong. I've been seeing it is converting to dictatorship. Now people are not talking. People are talking it's a evolution. What kind of evolution that I want to know? Is it the right evolution? Progressive evolution or non-progressive evolution? That is what, like in Charles Darwin theory, if you know that he talks about from unicellular to multicellular. People are talking about multicellular to unicellular. Who is more evolved? I want to know what is the Marxism who is talking about over here. If a philosophy of uniformity taken turns into kind of a dictatorship, an individual is doing all those exercise by his wisdom and all and controlling the whole thing and normal people's voice has been restricted, is it a very good sign or very signal? I want to have that idea. I want to listen from my whoever is following communism. I have a lot of debates. People abuse on internet whenever I write a blog or something. I feel bad at the end of the day. I go back and read, buy some books, try to understand the philosophical what Marx used to tell, what Lenin's philosophy was there, what is the concept of his idea of communism. So how it is different from today's communism. Probably one can draw, I have that sense to analyze it. Nobody can stop me not to analyze it. But I could see that all intellectuals, they try to abuse. When I counter, because I have stopped in writing, replying them, I told whatever you want to write, you write. It is better to be silent. I am not here to change your mind setup or anybody's mind setup for that matter. It is all I've been speaking. I'm speaking to Buddha only. Now I'm not talking to you. I'll upload it in the video. If anybody has got any issues or problem, please clarify. It is better. I talked about the coronavirus is a creation, artificially created. I have explained here also how all those things can be created if you understand the philosophical thing, putting the philosophy of Buddha, love, humanity, love for everybody. I am giving example of Charles Darwin to his way of thinking the universe, nature, natural evolution, all those things I am putting in one platform so that some clarity, because you cannot isolate all those things. You cannot talk only science without religion. You cannot talk religion without politics. You cannot talk a nation without boundary. People talk about nationless society. I talk about one has to be very, very strict nationalist. My strong feeling, till I hold that strong feeling, if you do not have the love for certain thing, passion for something, you do not have love for your country, you do not have any right to talk about your country, you do not have any right to have whatever things you are required, you have to work for that. First, this protection is required. Every country is doing that exercise. We should not be so holistic or so hypocritical about the whole thing. That is my whole idea. Finally, I want to say a few more things to my all communist friends, because I was attached to communist. I have love for communism because I have given close to 30 years understanding communism, understanding socialism. Now I am not concentrating. I am a rational thinker. I put my own logic. I don't read these books. What has Marx has written, those are things probably he has written it. He has published it. It is in own wisdom he has written it. But in present context, what are the things required? I apply my mind. I analyze all those things rationally. I put my views. If anybody has got problem, I think this present communist, they are headless chicken at the end of the day. I have a simple submission. If communism doesn't believe in God or ideal or anything, what is the things are happening? What is this image of communist Sitaram Yechuri and all those people carrying all kind of ideals. What is this going on? If you want to spread the message of your party ideology communism, why you are bringing all Hindu, Muslim, Christian, all religion carrying all kind of heavy weight things? Have some sense. Don't deviate. In research, we have statistical calculation, you can deviate 5%, but you cannot drift 95% from your ideology. This is too much. Then you give some other name. It will be ideal that we have somebody, we follow the principle. Our grandfather is Marx, Lenin, all those things, but in present day, we have deviated, and now this is our philosophy. I could see wherever communism is there, their activities merging with different political religion identity. It is too much to digest because we are the citizen of India. If he is a sensible person seeing all those things, at the end of the day, I go to at home, I pay whatever news channel I watch, I pay 5,000 rupees or 6,000 rupees every year. So I am not here to see all those things. I want to see the philosophy of your original Karl Marx, Lenin, whatever good things you have, you try to inculcate that and you try to propagate that thing so that the better society, better philosophical understanding you have, that the good message you are providing. This is my only submission. Because of all those things, it's basically ideology crisis. When crisis is there, people are not doing, if you are not applying your mind, head and soul, that what I am going to do for the sake of getting or winning, you make all kind of formulas. It doesn't work. Finally, you have to be very convinced what you are doing so that you can convince others. If I am not convinced with certain principle what I am doing, what I am going to teach? It is very important, the correlation between your own idea. When you are speaking to somebody, the same philosophy in your own life, you have to have that same philosophy in practice. Then you can only teach. I am a drunkard at the end of the day. I teach. Alcohol is very bad for health. What kind of impression I will have? I have explained those things. This is very relevant question. I do not have any right to tell that alcohol is bad for health after drinking alcohol. So if I have to preach or if I have to tell my generation, look, I don't drink alcohol. I am a non-alcoholic person. If you drink it, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 demerits. If 42% alcohol is going to choke your intestine, it will damage your cell. You can tell that very honestly and clearly to your generation so that the other person can understand the whole concept that what this person is telling. Otherwise, you cannot take the alcohol in front of you and preach about all those things that don't drink alcohol. My only submission is there only. Please follow. If you are not an individual or not honesty, maintaining certain level of honesty, you cannot change the society. That is the main thing of Buddhism that taught us individually you have to be pure. If you are pure, if individually thinking that way, your entire society will be pure. Friends, I want to conclude. I am doing one project. It is in my agenda for last many years. Last 10 years I have been trying to do this project. I got some time. I have a concept called Mind Lab. The Mind Lab is nothing but a is idea based. I have taken 7 Nobel laureates theory in different time, 3 from scientific, 3 from economics, and 2 from peace. So I have tried to draw a model with an experimental place is a mind lab where I have conducted some experiment on animals, because animal behavior is one of the subjects that I've been pursuing for many years. So finally, I could have a place where I have placed some animals, where I have tried to study the behavioral patterns of animal with a constant monitoring of CCTV camera, including the supply of food, taking care, everything from the day they have born. It's a basically study for 6 months. I want to see or draw a sustainable model, taking the help from the theory of Einstein E is equal to mc square, auction theory, theory of poverty, and that Poverty Lab, Dr. Abhijit Banerjee, Dr. Amartya Sen's Poverty Elevation Program, then your Peace Al Gore, A.K. Pachauri, your climate is also coming into the picture. How my objective is to this model in animal world, taking constant monitoring with video and everything. I have tried to take all the parameters and tried to draw a sustainable model where you can make animal world much more liberal, and up to certain level you can have supply of food from your home resources. You need not buy additional thing, you can feed. Once they grow up and their emotional attachment towards human being, that is also taken into consideration. How it is, you have seen the Pavlov experiment, like, no, you give at the same time food and you see, if you do not give, if you change the time, how enzymatic reaction that is been taking place. My objective is not check the enzymatic action, how the emotion is being reflected. Let's say I am giving a small brief of my mind lab project is something. If I go home, this is what where I am sitting and speaking. I have another place. It's around 30 feet by 20 feet area. Some cats are there under constant monitoring facilities. So I do all those things without telling anybody, but I have all CCTV camera, all recording, everything is there. I've been watching them. When I go home, I try to go, let's say I want to go home 10 o'clock. Next day I'm going to 12 o'clock. If I go, once I enter, how their behavioral pattern is changing. If I go every day 10 o'clock, they actually wait for me at the gate for me to come. Whether it is just for food or because of the emotions, I have a lot of videographs to show that it is not for food. Beyond that, that is what I want to try, see the emotional part in mind. The other part, the second part is there, putting auction theory, how it is going to, this is also a Nobel laureate that is done, how auction can help, how within the cat community they try to play the same auction game. Auction theory, I'll talk in a separate presentation. I talked about Dr. Abhijit Banerjee, Dr. Amartya Sen, more or less similar kind of work they have done. They have got the Nobel Prize. How the poverty elevation can be done, make them sustainable by using the same resources. So that is the idea, that without taking external sources, whatever home food extra is there, whether those things can be applied or given to those cats for their survival. Because I could see there are 4 million, more than 4 million cats is there across globe. In India, you have also good number of share. It is, I think in India, close to 2.5 to 3 million cats are living in a domestic or homeless, whatever way. I could see a lot of deaths happening here and there. My idea is whether there is a possibility to give them shelter or not. I've been working hard, at least from, I have seen first experiment was failed around 2 years back when I could not give time, that I could not feed them properly, and I could see one day there is at my gate there is a crash by car. So they went out. Now they are learning. I have been learning. I have been seeing how their mother is trying to teach each and everything like a human. So I have all those videos. It is a very interesting kind of emotional videos. We think cat are, what is cat? So there is the emotional part. Same model probably we can replicate for other animals like dogs and all, because those are the part of the ecological system. Another thing, if you are able to use the organic things, what is you call the waste, what do we do the waste? That waste is you are dumping it to municipal corporation, you put into polythene bag and give it to municipal corporation. Now imagine India, you have 140 crores, how people are living. Maybe if I take each house having 4 members, till it is close to 45 crores, I can think 45 crores house. So whether is there any possibility if each house has giving possibility to give shelter for one cat family without spending any money, so that they get a shelter at the corner of your house. This is a kind of a sustainable model. I've been seeing my third point, my observation is there is if municipal corporation fellow is taking those garbage and piling up. We used to live in a place called BRC. There is a 2 kilometer away, there is a dumping station. You see a lot of heaps. If dumping, and it makes like in Delhi, I have seen also. There are dumping station around. Now the question is, if you see, it is not only polythene is dumping. There are organic, non-organic, biodegradable, non-degradable. We talk about the separation and all. It practically doesn't happen. It is that's why I'm telling theory and practice is totally different in India. Either in whichever field you take, we say holistically many things it is not done. Whether this model is going to help it, because finally what is happening when big heaps are there, people go from municipal corporation, they fire it. The smoke, carbon monoxide and all those things that comes, it indirectly, it is happening. A lot of carbon monoxide is coming, carbon dioxide, environmental disaster, smell, and you know the carbon or carbon dioxide concentration is increasing. It is indirectly increasing the global warming. There is a big Nobel Prize in Peace, Dr. Al Gore and R.K. Pachauri, that IPCC, they got the Nobel Prize. So I have a lot of interest towards the modeling because I've been doing the modeling part for many years. So I have tried to give my thought into the picture whether your carbon emission load can be reduced. So this is one interesting part. And another scientist, Nobel Prize, I am not revealing all those things. It talks about that reduction. If you increase, his idea is if you increase the temperature by 2 to 3 degrees, your world GDP can be reduced by 3 to 4%. So he is not considering, there are a lot of controversy. He got Nobel Prize in the year 2019 on the same climate change issues. He's talking even if you increase temperature by 6 degrees, your GDP will be reduced by only 6.5% or 7%. It won't have any kind of impact. My question is, if your temperature is increasing by 6 to 7 degrees, how you are going to survive? He is trying to promote that you keep on doing pollution in one way, that is industrialization, because in the IPCC guidelines, it has been told that reduction of carbon, the pollution level control. So rather than doing that, he is telling ulta, opposite way. You increase the temperature. If you increase the temperature by 2 degrees, 3 degrees, what is going to happen? This climatic condition, there will be a cascade effect. 6 degree increase, even this degree, 6 degrees has not happened in 200 years history. If you take the temperature data, even CO2 data also. Now, if we propose certain kind of idea to bring more industry which is emitting more carbon, and he's taxing, that you pay tax. Okay, you do all those things, you pay tax. The idea is, where is the question of sustainable? This idea doesn't work. There are a lot of counter theories that is happening. That's why this model probably is going to reveal a lot of insight of the all 7 Nobel laureates, starting from Einstein to Many scientists I told, Dr. Amartya Sen, Dr. Abhijit Mukherjee, Dr. Al Gore, R.K. Pachauri, who got Nobel Prize Peace, Auction Theory, and another climate change project. This is a controversial figure. I will tell you afterwards. He's from Stanford University. Friends, I am a simple man. I want to learn. This is my curiosity to learn. Every time I feel every day that they have wish, desire, and everything, they sit in Stanford, London, so big university. Once I deliver lecture in one place. Our education system is artificial system. There are a lot of hype talking about MIT, all those big universities. So a lot of illusion I have, a lot of everybody's desire wanted to move towards. But one day I told in one platform, got an opportunity to speak. The education, you don't need a big university. Our education system, the entire philosophy is totally wrong. The Buddha at my back, he has not got any degree from MIT, Stanford, or that time there is nothing. I think Nalanda, right? So please read the history of Nalanda. You'll understand everything. So we are carry forward, or we are driven by certain notion and emotions that we feel they have only the voice to speak, talk about the science and other things. God has given you to think, not to worry about who is coming from what. You are an individual, that is more important. And you should respect yourself, and you should be stick to your own idea and philosophy what you are holding. You should be capable enough to counter what you are speaking with logically. I told all those things, 2500 year history, what Buddha is carrying. For me, Buddha is a great scientist, great philosopher. One can follow him. Many people they have followed. He is as good as like a sun who is giving lot of energy. Once again, thank you very much. If I have done any mistake, I do not have any script or anything. I am not a professional speaker, to be very honest with you. Unlike no, you have a script. I used to prepare a lot of speak for many director, DZ and all. I have done it in my life. So I left all those things. So I speak from my mind. Whatever I feel, there might be some mistakes and here and there. Please excuse me for that. Please, if you have any opinion, I'll be happy to listen. I want to give a very success kind of story to my mind lab. And people are doing poverty lab. They are getting millions of dollars from all those Mandela Gates Foundation, 16 million. I could see a lot of papers. Poverty lab, poverty elevation, lot of programming, eradication program. There are 100 millions of dollars has been accumulated funding for this poverty lab. I'm not telling that who is the founder, who is the running those things, and a lot of Nobel Prize winner. My poverty lab, my mind lab, probably I have not spent 10,000 rupees till date, but I have some greater idea. I hope this idea, I am speaking in front of everybody, this is my own idea. So copyright or patent, nothing. If this idea is taken by somebody using it, I don't mind it. But it is my original idea, using animal behavior with their emotions, putting all those theories, all theories I have told, make a sustainable model which is going to be used for the reduction, carbon reduction, and finally there will be a kind of a sustainable model so that the ecological equilibrium can be maintained. Friends, I want to say few more words. Probably I have done some date mistakes in my presentation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar presented this 164 article matter in 1949 in 12 June in parliamentary debate. He has defended why 164 is required. Probably I told the wrong year because this is not a scripted any kind of document that I have readily available. This is one correction. The second correction I want to make it, I told Abhijit Mukherjee, Dr. Abhijit Mukherjee in place of, in Bengal, like no, Mukherjee and Banerjee, sometime there is a confusion. It's Dr. Abhijit Banerjee, I'm sorry for that. So it should be read as Dr. Abhijit Banerjee. The third point, what I want to make it, my mind lab, whatever things I've been discussing, these are a very kind of serious theoretical work. It has got very wider kind of implementation because many theories are there and you are taking those are the baseline and you try to simulate your new idea, a sustainable model. I want to use the same model of what I am using it, and I could see that freebies concept, giving things to each and everybody free of cost. What are the sociological impact in case of humans? Animal, I could see what kind of lethargic mentality they have developed in time across if we provide them food. How long and how much you can provide them food, that is a very interesting thing. Probably one can make a note because I have in my experiment I have tried to do it after certain time not to provide food, and what are the action they have taken those cat their mother. So in order to, because in nature nobody is feeding them, you have given shelter doesn't mean that they do not have the survival mechanism. But what I am trying to tell over here, if you give them enough food, their natural instinct, the basic instinct of cat is gradually lost. I could see there are unwanted animal like rats, they play with the rats. So sometimes I feel what is happening even they are not killing the rats, they make friendship. Cat is making friendship with rats. That's a very interesting topic. Once I give them food, they play. I have some video and picture, I could see it. But when I stop them not to provide any kind of food, mother cat, she goes out, she kills pigeons, birds, rat and bring it back. Because they have their own survival mechanism in our society also. Probably if you are giving all kind of freebies, whether this concept can be eliminated or up to certain time, or in some aspect probably you can take care, not freebies for everybody, and that is killing our economy, our inner strength. The work culture is totally been demolished in the name of giving freebies. Nobody would like to work if somebody is telling that I want to give everything free. So that concept I have certain reservation. I have tried to see from the animal behavior because nobody teaches them. They are also living in this mother earth. The number of years human is living, probably they are living more than us. Their existence are there and their shares are also quite a big number. So probably we have a lot of things to learn from them. I told you the auction theory. Auction theory, I have taken the Nobel laureate from Professor Robert Wilson and Professor Paul Milgram. So one is from Stanford University, one is from Harvard University. So they have done great job on auction theory. So I will talk in my different video and presentation covering all the 6 or 7 Nobel laureates and the concept what I have developed. Finally, I want to thank you everybody for hearing me out. I'm so sorry to tell everything. This is what I've been thinking for many years. So we common people like illiterate like me don't get an opportunity to speak. So probably sometime I feel that YouTube, Facebook, those are the media probably able to give some people if they are hearing also. I am not telling this is scientifically absolutely right. Whatever things I am telling, it might be wrong. But this is my idea that I am telling. It might be wrong, it might be right. I leave it to everybody's wisdom to judge it. I am not here to write paper on Scientific American or Nature for that matter. So I am not an academician or a researcher. These are all my idea. I have tried to do whatever extra time I get it, because if I work 16, 17, 8 hours in my own profession, whatever extra time, because I keep certain amount of time or energy for this kind of academic exercise because of my interest. This is not my full profession what I am speaking. So till I want to pursue it, because I want to know what is exactly the great minds are doing, because we are living in the same earth, because I have gone through the philosophy of Buddha. Buddha teaches me many things. So again, I consider him is a great person. You have many things to learn. So whatever I want to say, I have told. I have nothing to say. I am answerable to Buddha. He is my ideal teacher, philosopher, and guide. And I want to dedicate this presentation, whatever I have spoken. This is close to 1 hour 30 minutes presentation. Last night I have made a video close to 225 minutes of different subject. I will come back to you, and this I want to dedicate this entire presentation to my parents, my mother and my father. They are no more. They died because of COVID. My mother died on 8th May. She was very fit and fine. I went in my native place. I have seen her. I have a lot of videos. So I don't like to see her. The picture of the dead body. I want to keep the good things that she is still alive. Every time I see, I don't see the bodies, the dead body. For me, it's an object now. For me, I want to take the video in front of me. I want to see how mommy is walking, talking to me. This is what more important. This gives me a lot of spirit. Similar with my father, I have a lot of videos. He died on 15th May, just after 7 days, said COVID and stress. When he heard about the death of my mother, on ritually we have to convey. So absolutely no problem. When we convey this message, there is a certain shock that has gone through my father. I could feel, even if I give some rational and emotional thinking, that what one person can go through the entire thing if the message is reaching that somebody's wife died or husband died. So because I feel that marriage in the society, it has got a lot of bonding, emotional bonding. Even though we are two different individuals at the end of the day, when we are living together as husband or wife, this is a family concept. If you have to believe the family, living for 60, 65 years together. So it is very difficult. It is very difficult for anybody to digest either husband is dying or wife is dying, this message is a very kind of sudden shock. I've been reading a lot of poetries like, the home they brought her or you're dead. I'm not getting into this part, what had happened when the person went to war and he died. And this message has been given that your husband is died and at home, the lady and having a small kid. So finally, once she got the news, she was totally shocked and remained as a statue. Finally, for ending this story, that small kid given on her lap and she started to cry and she spoken very open and clear way, I want to live for thee. Means, thee means the son. This is the future, that is the hope. So when I see my father's and mother dead body, it gives me a lot of tears in my eyes. So I don't like to see it. So once again, thank you very much. And this is purely dedicated to my parents, keeping back Buddha. This is the only philosophy I believe, because I've been fighting one thing. I'm trying to tell that COVID-19 virus is an artificial virus. It is created. This is my way of thinking. It is nothing to challenge the science, but I have a strong belief. Similar way, I believe my parents, even they have died physically. I believe something in Buddhism. E is equal to mc square. The mass energy again coming back. This is the concept. Probably I'm able to tell you what it means. They are here very much in the form of energy. God knows, or God is probably created into mass again. So this Atma after death, there are many concepts, many philosophical different rituals, they have concept. But since I am talking Buddhism, I say the philosophy is energy. Both my mother, my father, their energy is still existing here. And they are also talking to me. They are in conversation. I have never ever spoken in my life for many years. I am a very silent person. I don't know what kind of energy I am getting. My knowledge and wisdom and all those things, from where it is coming, I really do not know. I am not a philosopher to tell all those things, but I am speaking. I am doing my normal work. Every day I do whatever things, I am taking care of everything. But I am concentrating on few issues. I have few things to convey. Once again, thank you very much hearing me out. If I have done any mistake, if you feel any logical thing, if you find any substance, science, philosophy, arts, literature, any mistake, or even if you find it is irrelevant, it's not, it's all nonsense things, what you are speaking, garbage. I leave it to your wisdom. Again, thank you very much for giving Buddha this opportunity to speak. Thank you, my parents. You have given so much energy, so much courage to speak, probably. I am speaking means those talks are not an ordinary talk. These are all topmost mind in this world involved in this thing. My each and every word has got meaning and relevance, and I am speaking with clarity. These are not very political speech. I am talking about 2,500 years history. I am trying to correlate all those things. It's a very, very tough job. It requires a lot of analytical power. I really do not know how much energy I have given day and night. Probably it's my preparation for last 40-45 years. I have inculcated in my mind. Today I am speaking probably. That might be the result. Thank you very much once again. God bless everybody. Thanks a lot.